Hey, and welcome to another 31 Days of Horror 2018 Toronto After Dark edition. We are looking at the 10th film of this year with the seventh film of Toronto. I don't know. But this is supposed to be the scariest film of the festival, and for that we are going to Indonesia. Yes, Indonesia, with a returning a Toronto After Dark alumnus, if you will, Joko Anwar's film Satan's Slaves, or I guess in Indonesian it would be Pengabdi Setan. Now, Joko Anwar, like I said, is a Toronto After Dark alumnus. He was there a few years back with his 2009 film The Forbidden Door, which I do believe, if I remember correctly, was quite a bizarre little film. This time he's going kind of more traditional, I guess you would say, in the sense that he is putting together a ghost story. It's like he pulls out a whole bunch of different subgenres and puts them all into this. We got zombies, we got ghosts, we've got possessions, we've got Satanists, we've got demons, all sorts of different things, all sort of that supernatural aspects going on there. So what is the film about? Well, the film is essentially about a family who mother has been suffering from an illness for about 3 years now, and then she eventually dies, and then there's some ghostly activity that follows after that, and they kind of have to figure out what the hell's going on, because they do believe in ghosts and spirits in Indonesia, so seeing dead people isn't necessarily a bad thing or a scary thing. You generally just ask them to please leave us alone, find out why they may be restless, give them back whatever they want, their possessions, bury them with them if they maybe you forgot, or something along those lines. Usually you don't think of them as being a evil thing, but these are clearly evil. And they do state in the film where they don't think these are actually the spirits of your deceased ones. These are some evil entities that have taken on their likeness, because evil, the spirits of your dead ones aren't evil, so they wouldn't really haunt you per se, and these people are definitely being haunted. So there's something more to that. There's a bunch of people obviously in the film, but I'm going to tell you right now, you don't know any of them, so I'm not going to go over them. The film is kind of a mixed bag. It is a constant barrage of scares, we'll put it that way. There are small little moments where you're getting to know the family and develop their relationships to each other, but whenever it turns into be nighttime or anything like that, there's going to be some kind of a scare, a faux scare, a jump scare, a tension builder, or something along those lines. And it's a constant wash, rinse, repeat type thing over and over and over again. I don't have necessarily a problem with that. It does mean that the tension, if you like a lot of suspense and a lot of tension, that's kind of not what's going to be going on here. There is, small moments of tension, but they aren't really drawn out. You don't really get the sense, and I think a lot of people coming out of it didn't find the film really scary as a result, because it's like I said, there's a lot of delivery of here's a scare, here's a scare, here's a scare, here's a scare. Some of them work, some of them don't work so well. you know, and some of them are very creative. Other ones are just, you know, standard things. So it's a mixed boat in that bag. But at the same time, I still, though I didn't really find it scary. Like I said, there was a couple of really good scares, and I just wish that he had, because the film totally lends to it. He could have built the tension a lot more, and therefore a lot of the scares that were there would have been scarier. They just would have hit home a lot better. Sound work on this was decent enough. It could have been a tad better, but it was decent enough to pull off scares. Yeah, I think they could have again, like I said, built more tension and did a little bit more with their sound work, and maybe even in the editing, there were a few moments where it was like it needed to be a little bit quicker. The reveal of the scare needed to be a little bit quicker for it to work. But that being said, all around it's a very, very well-made film. Acting, I really enjoyed everybody's performances. The atmosphere in the film is very well done. There are a few things about the story which are kind of a little iffy, but it's not so out there that it takes you away from, you know, the story overall, and you can follow it pretty easily, unlike maybe, you know, the Forbidden Door, which you've done before, which was a little bit harder to follow. This yeah, it did have a few aspects of it which they delved into but really weren't necessary, considering the film runs almost an hour 50 minutes. It could have been trimmed a little bit more to bring it back a little bit, but yeah, I like the set design on it. Yeah, there isn't too much that I really disliked about the film. I just think it could have been scarier. You know, had it been scarier, it definitely would have been a 4. But as a result, I'm going to say this is more of a 3.5-ish on the rating scale. I would recommend it. It is a decent film to watch. It is something to check out if you're able to. Again, that's Satan's Slaves by Joko Anwar, or in, you know, Indonesian, Pengabdi Setan. I think. I'm not in Indonesian. I could be completely pronouncing that incorrectly. But yeah, it's getting late here. I got one more film to review, so I'm going to leave it at that. If you've caught the film and you liked it or didn't like it, let me know down below. Keep it spoiler free as much as possible. Love to hear from you. Always. So yeah, thanks for watching. Till next video, more scary stuff to come.